What's up, guys, and welcome to another Overwatch replay, the show that gives you all the tips and tricks you need to know to become a better Overwatch player. Today we're going to be going over a competitive match on Route 66 where I play a bunch of tanks and switch around, and primarily what we're going to be going over is how to sort of create space for your team as a tank. Primarily we're going to be going over how to play Winston, because Winston is really good at creating space for your team with his bubble and sort of bobbing in and out of the danger zones, as you might know from Archer, I guess, from that show. but yeah, so I end up switching to Winston here, and so let's get started. Route 66 is kind of a crazy level, but I like it a lot. So Winston's really good at diving in. Obviously, he's on most dive comps. He's really good at killing squishies, so any character that has below 200 health. He has a lot of trouble when fighting a Reaper, but as you can see, what I did immediately after spawning is, let's see, when I jump in, I already jumped in, didn't I? Yeah, let's back up. So out of spawn, let's see where we go, right? 3, 2, 1. I see they have a Roadhog there, but I'm waiting to see what the situation is, because if Winston just preemptively dives into the danger zone, we'll call it, then he's gonna get blown up. And especially, you don't want to be diving unless you have this bubble, or maybe a Zarya to put a bubble on you, or even let's see, either you have your ult, your bubble, you have a Zarya bubble to be given to you, or you have an Ana pumping as much steroids into your body as possible, and also have a heal grenade on you. So I jump in onto the point and put down my bubble. So this creates basically a barrier to stop all damage coming in, so my team can now move up to the point, which is nice because then they can sort of crouch behind the point. And I see this Lucio here, so I think immediately that's my target, so I run after him. And this Lucio, obviously, way out of place. If you're playing Lucio, what the hell are you doing on the point on Route 66 when your entire team is behind you? So, I mean, that's your fault, dude. But I see that he's backing up, and I don't want to be going forward, being an aggressive Winston, unless I have, of course, my bubble, which I don't. My bubble's down, so I'm not going to be going in as Winston. I'm going to be waiting until my bubble spawns again, hanging out by my team, getting healed up. That's primarily, really, actually very important. Monitoring your health as Winston is super key. You need to know where your healers are at as many times as possible in the game, and you really want to keep line of sight with the Ana if you have it, and definitely know where your Mercy is, because I don't think he's very viable with a Lucio. I mean, obviously Lucio's fine if he has the primary healer as Mercy or Ana. He really needs a lot of health, because he's such a large target, his health goes down incredibly fast, because everyone's going to be shooting him, and he jumps in and creates a large commotion, so everyone's going to turn and attack the Winston. So over here, I'm sort of creating space again. You'll see that's primarily what I do on this push, and on our attack run here, this initial attack run. So I see that the Roadhog's there, and I see that this is all space for the taking here. If I jump, which I do, and put down my bubble here, then my team is free to now move forward here and start launching shots into the bubble and start doing some damage, which is really nice for what's her name, Arisa, because she just likes to hold right click down or left click down and kill everything. Again, we will be switching to PC gaming. The PC Master Race will be joining soon enough. I have yet to figure out how to effectively record our matches on PC, but we will be doing that very soon. So right now we're obviously playing on PS4. So luckily, actually, I think this was more or less a panic res by our Mercy here. I do get res. I get killed, sure, but we hit the checkpoint. So we've hit this checkpoint, so we're gonna have to wait for this door to open anyways. Might as well wait for us all to spawn. Granted, it gives them maybe probably 10 more seconds to set up their defenses, but honestly, we would have been fine otherwise. So I think this was a waste of her res to begin with, and again, creating space here with my bubble. I think that's really the motto and the theme of this match. Of course, that Roadhog would have been nice to call that Roadhog out, but it's fine. He goes down, Orisa turns, and is totally fine. So Orisa, using the ever-present Orisa on our choke point, or on our checkpoint, is really nice to keep her barrier there, and she can be mobile as well. I saw this soldier here who actually fell off. That's embarrassing. Fell or jumped off the thing. I don't know. And right here, I'm looking for a target to dive onto right now. So I dive in. Again, I have my bubble, and I see no one really to attack. So I put it down because I see someone. I think that might have been a preemptive bubble there, but I wanted to protect my team while also looking for this Sombra. So D.Va is here for some reason. Their team suffers a lot from trickling in, and that's probably why we won the game. But you'll see. It's obviously you can see the time of the match. It's kind of a long match. So yeah, I'm using my thing because I heard that the Sombra was behind us, so I'm holding down left click just in case she pops up in front of me or anything. And as you can see, going in around this corner, we have 6 ults. So this should be a very smooth fight, and yet it wasn't exactly that way. But having 6 ults, Jesus Christ, what were we thinking, man? Against this team, we should have rolled them. Orisa could have put down the barrier, used her ult on the point, and then I could have just waited, I guess. I don't think Winston's ult really pairs with much. But you can see this D.Va panic ults. Actually, it's not the worst ult in the world because it gets her out of safety or out of danger. 2, it heals her up, and so she's ready to fight again, and that's about it, I guess. So it's not the worst, and yeah, she didn't get a kill off of it, but she doesn't need to. In that situation, I think she's fine. So I jump in, I used my shield, and we're moving forward now. I'm doing some damage to D.Va, but as you can see, I mean, you can't tell how much Winston was doing alone, but of course everyone else was shooting her, so she was going down pretty quickly. Winston would not do any damage to D.Va otherwise if she had her armor and you were just attacking by yourself. Pretty much useless. So I see the Sombra up there, I jump up there to go track her down, she backs up, and right now I'm in sort of a sticky situation, but luckily no one's paying attention to me and I get to jump out. So I have my ult here, Roadhog behind us. I decide to use my ult here. So Winston's ult is really useful for, again, creating space, but it's mostly useful, I think, for tracking one person down and keeping them out of the game for as long as possible. So that's what I'm doing to this Roadhog. I'm pushing him back. Basically what you want to do is you want to single out the target that you want to kill the most, or you want to keep out of the game for the longest. And pretty much that's what I did. I saw that Roadhog there, but I turn around and I see we've lost 3 people. So that's either my fault or our team's fault, even though we had 6 ults. So I don't really know what happened. And of course, I think you actually do less damage with Winston's ult than with his gun. And this is also true with, what's his name, Bastion's ult as well. So this Roadhog comes back around, and now he's trying to fight us all at the same time, so he's gonna die. Just a simple thing. Of course, who's gonna win? 6v1? The 6 is gonna win. So I jump in, creating space again, put up my bubble, but the enemy team was catching on, so they decide to break the bubble pretty quickly. So, of course, and I also get discorded, so that's a GG. So you don't want to be jumping in as Winston without support. You want the Genji to come in with you. You want your Lucio to help you out a little bit. You want Zarya to put a bubble on you. You want to know you have your team that has your back. You can't just jump in by yourself into 4 people, 5 people, because you're just going to lose that fight really quickly, and your bubble's going to go down like that. So that's sort of what just happened. But here we go. I switched to Zarya because I feel like I'm not being as effective as Winston, and we end up winning a point. Maybe I should just put Zarya. I'm kidding. No, that was just because my team was deciding to do some work. So, moving on, we have switched to D.Va here. So D.Va plays a similar role, I think, to Winston. I think she can focus down. She can sort of dive into the danger zone, as it were, and save herself, along with creating a lot of space with her defense matrix. In fact, I don't think D.Va as a character is alright. She's a large target when she's in her mech. She doesn't have that much armor, or rather, when she loses her armor, we talked about this last week. When she loses her armor, she's got to get out of there. Basically, you want to play. You have room to play around with when you have your armor, and of course, by armor I mean this yellow health here. Down here, this armor is super useful. You want to keep this as full as possible when you're playing D.Va. When you don't have that armor, you want to get to your healer, I think, or a health pack. Now, D.Va is really useful, of course, and entirely why she's being played a lot in the meta is because of this defense matrix. Defense matrix is really great for poking a hole for your enemy, for the team, and now your team can move forward. For instance, if you have a Reaper is really great with D.Va, I think. He can now move forward into the team and just launch his his shotguns off as much as possible. So here we totally had horrible positioning, and also we didn't have much DPS to begin with, but our DPS went down pretty quickly, I think. So I'm sort of just fighting this Genji as mini D.Va that's not going to go very well, and of course I go down. But our Mercy is alive, I think, apparently. She has her res, surprisingly, so that's pretty good. So she must have been healing that Orisa. So, moving on, we get back. We actually see that they have 6 people on the point, and they're very close to the checkpoint, so there's really no purpose in us trying to contest it. So, we reset, and here, another thing D.Va can't really do is damage at this distance. Actually, any distance pretty much past this line, I don't think it's that worth attacking. So if you're attacking a target that's within this range, fantastic. In fact, you're probably not going to kill that target if they have support. So if they have healing, it's kind of, D.Va does damage but at that range, but it's kind of slow, so it's not that useful. Over here, you're basically doing nothing. Let's look at Orisa's doing the damage here. And that's just a turret there, just sitting down. Of course, we also had a Genji. But you can see, I'm shooting this Genji, and he's basically being out-healed. I'm being out-healed because they have a Zenyatta orb on it. So, I mean, that's, sure, I'm not doing that. I'm not hitting him that much. But the times that I was hitting him, he wasn't really seeing any problems there. So, and you can see right there, right? I did nothing to that Zarya. So you want to be wary of what's going on when you're shooting as D.Va. You don't want to just hold down left click as D.Va. For instance, right here, I think I wise up and I throw out the defense matrix, and I sort of back up. I see that we're taking too much damage and no one else is with me, so I'm backing up, and Sombra apparently killed Mercy and Orisa and Genji, so GG there. Luckily I killed Sombra, great, but Sombra got a triple kill there, which probably shouldn't be happening. She should be throwing off her EMP, and then that's about it, I would say. She doesn't have that high damage output. So I wait for my team, we group up, it's very key to note, and then we sort of just hang out up here. We take the high ground. I see that Zarya is low, and here's kind of a waste. So look, we have our Mei wall up, and I'm talking about defense matrix being the waste. So we have the Mei wall up. So who am I defending? I'm defending myself, right? Because they're launching shots into here, maybe. They can't really launch shots over. They have this Sombra here, which I could have tracked down, but I don't think. I think as Winston tracking down Sombra, you've got an easy target. But as D.Va tracking down Sombra, you gotta definitely make sure you ram her and also do a lot of damage. Maybe have a Zenyatta orb on it. Right now, this defense matrix isn't really blocking anything. No one's shooting up at me, and it's coming out to, sorry about the dog in the background. It's coming out to the Mei wall. So maybe it's blocking a little bit, but it's not blocking that much. So you want to be careful with your defense matrix, because now I have a third of it left, and I'm using it now, I guess, to back up, but now I have no defense matrix, right? So that's a waste of your defense matrix. You want to make sure you have that when you need it. Here you can see this Zenyatta just strafing me. D.Va has trouble with small targets that are strafing her, even right in front of her. So right here I'm trying to track down this Zarya because I saw she's damaged, and even as mini D.Va not doing too much damage. So I see I'm not doing too much as D.Va, so I switched to Roadhog. Roadhog I know does pretty much way more damage than D.Va and can stun targets, so that's useful. And I don't think I'm using the defense matrix as intended. So that's really why I switched to Roadhog. I figured we needed more damage because they seem to be steamrolling through. And Yvonne makes a nice switch to Winston. And he's doing what I was doing. He's bobbing in and out, he's poking. And here I think he got caught off guard because he didn't see the turret, I don't think. And or maybe he misjudged his jump. He goes down. It's not good. And then I go down. Things are not looking good. We get rezzed, which is nice. Rezzing both your tanks is super dope. And Genji reflects my hook, but it wouldn't have mattered because I got EMP'd. So over here, I'm trying to do as much damage as possible, but I'm missing all my shots. Not a good thing. Can't really teach aiming. Gotta just aim, man. Just take a breath. Just aim your fucking gun, dude. So right there, I had switched to Ryan because why not? And we sort of get wiped here, and that's about it. So Zarya ulted, and we all ran into it, and then Genji got his super sweet Edgeward Samurai Blade off. Super sick. So here, I switched back to Winston. I think I was asked to switch to Winston because maybe they would have Symmetra. So Winston, great counter Symmetra. He can not only track her down and kill her, but he can take care of her turrets really, really easily. So if you ever have trouble against Symmetra, make sure you use Winston. Make sure you have a Winston on your team. Of course, he's pretty hard countered by Reaper. So if they have a Reaper and you're Winston, maybe you should consider switching up. If you're getting killed by Winston. So here, I use the cargo crate to move onto the payload. And I throw down my barrier here to create some room for my team, but they're focusing it. Also, they have a Torbjorn, I believe. So I jump in. I'm not so keen on this jump. I think this jump was more feeling like I'm doing nothing with Winston. It's all right to be that way, man. If you're just hanging back with Winston, you don't want to kill yourself. So you don't want to just jump in like this. I think this was fine because I knew where our healer was and I knew where the payload was, so I knew I could back up behind it as soon as I landed. And again, I think this bubble was kind of a waste of the bubble, but it was nice because the Zarya was up, and I see that I also saw that the Mercy was there, so this is why I jumped here. I'm trying to track down the Mercy because I see that it's basically a 3v6 essentially right now, so we should be trying to be as aggressive as possible to give them a staggered spawn, which is really nice for us. So this is exactly why we're be able to push the payload forward. So if you see people like this as Winston, you definitely want to dive onto them. If you see that soldier, let's back up. right? We just got 2 kills, and also their team was already dead pretty much. So right here I'm waiting. I see this Junkrat, he's down, and then Genji also got the turret, which was really nice. But this soldier, man, this is Winston's fucking ice cream sundae right here. This fucking shit, get that shit. Kill that soldier, man. So that's why I jump in on him. You want to try to track him down, and I got him. He's dead. So now we're free to move the payload, and they're going to have a completely staggered team lineup pretty much for the second point entirely. So right here, their Zarya is trickling in. What is she doing? I don't know why she's dead now. Not to mention their Mercy's now dead. You don't want to lose your Mercy as soon as your team sets up for defense. It's pretty annoying for you. Anyways, I put my bubble down to create some room. So I guess we'll call this video how to tank and how to create room as a tank. Shut up, you damn kid outside. Anyways, I hope you can't hear that kid. I see that turret. Would have been nice if I dove on the turret, but I heard that Zarya would have the turret taken care of. I'm thinking about diving this Zarya, which is exactly what I do. I see her by herself. Winston's good at singling out targets, so definitely use that to your advantage. I didn't want to throw down the bubble without up there. I didn't want to throw down the bubble, so that's why. I mean, what use is a bubble up here? All they have to do is just step over here, and then they. Wow, that is an arrow. All they have to do is step over here, and then they can launch more damage down instead of launching damage down here. So it's really useful on the point in front of your team for your team. Not so useful up here. So I wouldn't. That's why I didn't put it down. And I just back up. I know where my healer is, so I back up into her, and then I throw down the bubble to protect her, and the rest is history right here. So this Ryan actually, the Torbjorn walked in, took care of me. I think maybe his turret didn't. No, he just laid down the law. Fuck, he used his ult. So he used his ult to defend the point, but it's overtime, and we're really trying to get this second point here. So I think we actually end up pushing it to this point by the time I get back, but we'll see. Let's see. Oh, I see the Sombra. Try to track her down. That's a pretty big target for Winston. As Winston, I think you have a few priorities. You want to make sure you take out healers. So diving on healers, super big priority for Winston here. I think healers might be #1 priority. So Zenyatta, Mercy, Ana, pretty big priority for Winston. Even though Ana can destroy Winston by putting him to sleep, and he's useless in the backline. You want to take out Symmetras and Sombras. Those are pretty big, the 2 S's. They're pretty dangerous and can be pretty difficult for your team if you don't have a Winston, depending on team. And then after that, you want to be taking out, of course, DPS. Any except for Reaper, if you can. He's pretty difficult to take out in general in season whatever this is, season 5. So yeah, those are your. I'd say #1 priority. Take out Zenyatta and Mercy, if you can, if they have that on your team, on their team. So here we're just sort of pushing through. We're using ults to lock them into their spawn, and that's pretty much the end of it. Right here, almost get that kill on McCree. All right, let's see what we do here. We're on defense, and all right. Right, so we have 6 points. They have to capture everything in 2.5 minutes. And I think actually we end up losing someone. Someone disconnects or is pretty butthurt about winning. I don't know. They rage quit. No, they didn't rage quit. Right here, this Genji was just trying to get my bubble up here. Although, what does this do? So this is really dumb. And his name is Savage TY20. What do you... I guess he could be 17-year-old now. That's fine. Born in 2000. You youngsters don't even know how good you have it. You got Overwatch before you're 18. Anyways, he wanted me to put my bubble up here. I don't know why. So I did it for him, and then I just dropped down and back up. And of course, now I don't have my bubble right now. And I protect them, and my bubble's gone. So that really worked for you, dude, huh? Anyways, I sort of back up. I'm already at half health. I can ask for healing, and I think Yvonne ends up healing me. Thank you very much. But we should really not be pushing so hard on them. So I mean, I jump in there, put my bubble down, back up, but the soldier gets me, I get hacked, and you can get hacked out of a jump. That's exactly what just happened. I got hacked halfway through as soon as I pushed the button, and I ended up just stopping. So now we're staggering, and we're in a tough situation here. Sorry, I was jumping up a little too far. I asked everyone to group up. That's what Zenyatta is asking everyone to do, but it looks like we have to end up trickling in here. And we lose a member of our team. Not so keen on that. I have no idea why. I hope he's alright or whatever. But yeah, so basically put down my bubble so I can back up. But that's an example of Winston diving in with no support, right? Didn't he just die super quickly? As soon as you dive in, everyone's going to turn and attack you. So you have to be ready for that. So you at least have to have your bubble, or maybe your ult, and you definitely want your Ana shooting you with her gun as much as possible, or your Mercy in an area where you can jump back to. Over here, I'm sort of getting killed. I sort of lose track of what target I should be attacking, right? So we had all three almost every archetype there of character in this game. I think personally, like I said, if I'm jumping in, I put down my bubble, I see this ulting soldier here, but I also see this Zenyatta. I think if I'm gonna get a kill, it's gonna be him. He's gonna be lights out, but I lose track of that, and I decide to try attacking the soldier who's not attacking me. He runs into his Reinhardt, and I run into his Reinhardt, so now I'm dead. So you really have to make that sort of decision as Winston. Who do you go for if you're jumping into that many people? And I think, honestly, that was just a bad jump, and I don't think I should have done it. I mean, I was trying to contest the point, but it really didn't help anyone. Maybe it helped a little bit. I don't know. But yeah, they take the point, and we're sort of plotting our thing here. I'm close to ult. We're trying to save our ults as much as possible, and basically what's going to go down is we're saying, sure, we're down a person, but if we save all our ults, they're going to be in overtime, and if we can just wipe their team, we win. So as long as we do that, they're going to be in overtime before they hit the second point. So and we already forced out their Zenyatta ult, which is really nice. I jump in here to charge up my ult, and I back up as much as possible. We get the Mercy res, which is really nice, and this would have been a really swell place to use my ult, but the Hanzo uses his ult, so I think that might not have been a bad choice. So we baited out more ults. So this is sort of a whole mind game meta that you can do in Overwatch. You want to bait out ults, right? So if you know your ults are ultimate abilities are your resource in the game. You really want to keep hold of them and use them at the right time, either to space or to do things and kill everyone, right? That's what you want. You want to play the game and shit like that. So you want to use them at the right time. So if you don't use them at the right time, or if you use all your resources before you need them, you bust your load before you want to, then you're going to lose the game. So this is exactly what happened. We ended up diving in on them and doing shit and causing a lot of chaos. So Hanzo used his ult. Sorry, Hanzo. Sucks to suck, man. If I had used my ult as soon as I jumped in, right, then Hanzo could have just used his ult, and I would be half health. And then I'd probably be targeted down, and I'd be dead. Right now, I use my ult, and I end up pushing them back, but I'm getting nailed by Soldier and D.Va and everyone. So that's sort of the end of the game there. Zarya uses their ult, and I think we end up taking the point right there. So I'm going to take this time to say thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it helped. If you're trying to play tank for your team, whatever, 2 or 3 big boys, and you want to go in and you want to learn how to play a tank, this is a good place to start. Winston is a great character, and he's super useful in the meta right now. He wasn't in the previous metas, but now he's incredibly useful. So I suggest you use Winston. save your ults, save your bubble, and dive in with it, and target those healers, man. So thanks so much for watching. We do these videos every single Wednesday. We also have a podcast on Mondays at 9 a.m. You can check it out on iTunes and SoundCloud, and we do fun Let's Plays on Fridays, so go ahead and check those out. So we'll let this roll out, and we'll see what the play of the game was. We'll talk about the play of the game. Who got it? Who's the big dog? I even forgot, I'm sorry. I don't know who got play of the game. Oh yes, that sweet, sweet peanut butter, mana of the gods. Here it is, Savage TY20, the god, the Genji god here. He's behind an ulting soldier, and he reflects every single shot, backs up, builds up his ult with a dash, and launches it immediately to get 2 or 3 kills. I didn't count. So good games to him and everyone on my team, except for this asshole who disconnected. Don't disconnect, you're an asshole if you do. But thanks so much for watching, guys. Thumbs up, thumbs down, up to you. We'll catch you guys next time.